Welcome back to the Marching to Madness College Basketball Podcast with my good friend, Coach Jim Larrañaga. The Miami Hurricanes are on the cusp of first place in the ACC once again. They're one game back behind a field of Pitt, Virginia, and Clemson. And the Hurricanes were sound and solid on Monday night with an 81-59 defeat of Duke. They led by as many as 26 points late in that game. Coach, welcome back.
Oh, my pleasure, Ken. Always good to talk with you.
Oh, certainly. Hey, you had a sellout crowd there to watch the Hurricanes shoot 48% from the floor. You scored 23 points off 21 Duke turnovers.
Yeah, our defense was very active. Our guys' hands and feet were moving quickly. They were anticipating the Duke offense. So we made some very good defensive decisions and defensive plays. And that led to fast break opportunities for us. Again, we had 9 dunks in the game. Most of those came in transition.
They averaged 78.9 points per game. You're in the top 10% in college basketball in scoring with that number.
Well, our offense has been very efficient all season long. We're one of the top offensive efficiency teams in the country. And that has something to do with our defense, because when we force turnovers, when we rebound, we can run, and that makes us a better offensive team.
Is there any way that you can work on the transition from offense to defense or defense to offense and make it even better?
Well, we try to do that every day. We call it conversion. You got to convert from offense to defense or defense to offense. We have one drill I absolutely love. It's called the Munchkin drill. A lot of times we just put the smallest guys on the team on the baseline at one end of the court, and the guys who have to defend them next to them. And then it becomes a race to the other end, and the guards, they put the pressure on the team to get back and guard them before they can get a layup or a three.
Norchad Omier has turned into one of my favorite players in the country. I remember when he was at Arkansas State last year, he was the Sun Belt Player of the Year and Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Year. He had 17 points, 10 rebounds on Monday night. He rates as one of KenPom.com's leaders in overall offensive rating.
Well, here's the thing about Norchad Omier. The number one thing is he's got the greatest personality and the most energy of any player I've ever been around. He always has a smile on his face. He's a great teammate. He's a great player to coach. And he is a relentless rebounder. Well, the reason he was Player of the Year at Arkansas State and in the Sun Belt Conference is because of his relentlessness. You know, he was the leading rebounder, one of the top rebounders in the country. I think he's the third leading rebounder returning to college basketball, along with the young man from Kentucky and maybe Bacot. Bacot's now the leading rebounder in Carolina history, so he's got a lot of good company there. But Norchad Omier is a great rebounder.
As he came over to Miami, what was the biggest transition in his overall game, which placed him with the Hurricanes?
Well, a number of things that led to his decision was, first of all, he went to Miami Prep. I don't know if people know that. He went to high school here in Miami. The reason he went to Arkansas State, because during the COVID year and no one could go out and see him. He transferred here. He's got an uncle who lives in town. He's got friends and relatives, guys he played high school ball with, who are here in Miami. So it was a very smooth transition for him. The biggest adjustment and challenge is now he's not playing against guys his own size. He's playing against a bunch of 7-footers. And, Duke had 2 of them in the starting lineup, both freshmen, both projected to be one and done.
Your defense, the depth of this group is really uncanny when you think about it. Isaiah Wong and Jordan Miller, they're the 2 leading scorers. Both are around 37% from 3, as they are 2 solid playmakers. With that set of skills, What parts of their versatility make them such tough matchups beyond playmaking and the shooting?
Well, the first thing is Isaiah Wong has a scorer's mentality. And in his freshman, sophomore, and junior year, I think he was very focused on what he does well, put the ball in the basket. What's made him so dynamic this year is his versatility. He's improved his passing. His assist to turnover ratio is up. He loves playing with these guys, and they have found him so often. I mean, he's really, I think, in contention and should be for the ACC Player of the Year. He's having that kind of season, scoring, rebounding, assisting, playing great defense. So Isaiah is an all-conference player. He was preseason all-conference, and he just keeps getting better. Jordan Miller is the most underrated player in the league. Because he does everything well: offense, defense, three-point shooting, free throw shooting, assisting. And he's as smart a player as you're going to find. In the preseason, his assist to turnover ratio in practice was 7-1. So I knew we had to put the ball in his hands because he found the open man so well.
Nigel Pack came in as a transfer from Kansas State, second leader in assists behind Isaiah Wong. He was the ACC's co-player of the week last week and averaging 18.5 points per game in wins over Virginia Tech and Clemson.
Nigel Pack was a two-guard at Kansas State, transferred here and take Charlie Moore's spot as our starting point guard. And he's made a very smooth transition. The guys on the team love him. He's got unlimited range. He can shoot the ball, not from NBA range, but well beyond. He's learning to distribute the ball. He's becoming a better point guard, handling the pressure of not only dribbling the ball against the opposing team's point guard, who puts a lot of pressure on him, but then having to turn around and guard a very fast, quick point guard. So he's having a wonderful season and really deserved to be player of the week last week.
We were talking about Jordan Miller, and I think he's one of the most underrated players I've seen across the boards. I also think Wooga Poplar is underrated because he's taken off as a key player on both ends of the floor. He leaps on those breakaway dunks. I don't know if he gets as much credit as he should on that, and he posts his solid athleticism combined with plenty of opportunity. You can tell he knows how to play the game.
Yeah, Wooga Poplar is going to be a star in this league. It's probably not going to be this year, but his progress from his freshman year to his sophomore year really indicates to me his future is very bright. And he's a diamond in the rough, and he's polishing those skills to become a complete all-around player. Has had tremendous responsibility at the defensive end. He guarded Hunter Tyson and did a great job on him. He's improved so much at the defensive end of the floor. We always give him the toughest assignment. And then on offense, he's really dynamic. He was always a good three-point shooter and a great dunker. But now he's added the 15-foot pull-up jump shot, shot fake pull-up jump shot, and he's added some nice passing skills to his game. So Wooga is improving. He's taken over Cam McGusty's spot. He's not the experienced player that Cam McGusty was. So he's not averaging 17 points a game like Cam did, but he's heading in that same direction.
Shoots 47.4% from the floor. I've been interested in this defensive statistic. He averages 1.3 steals per game.
Well, as I said, he's very, very active. Like the other day, he blocked a shot. Jordan Miller tapped it to him, and he dunked it at the other end. That all started with a great defensive effort to close out a terrific shooter. So he's doing it at both ends of the court. His dunk at the end of the game was on ESPN Top 10 Plays of the Day, and it was play number 1. So it was the highlight of that night.
Coach Harlan Beverly and Bensley Joseph have added to that guard rotation impeccably well. That gives you depth and there's many different skills on the perimeter out of your rotation.
Well, Bensley Joseph is our best on-ball defender, and he's so vitally important at the defensive end of the floor. And Harlan Beverly is perhaps, like Woga Poplar, one of the best perimeter defenders. And he was responsible for shutting down at our place, one of the first games in the league, NC State's Terquavion Smith did an amazing job on him. He was great defensively, guarding Judah Mintz from Syracuse. He's guarded various guys like Hunter Couture from Virginia Tech. So between Bensley and Harlan coming in off the bench, our defense actually improves when we substitute.
Sure, and I know you hold the three to 32.4% from your opponents, and they don't make habitual trips to the free throw line. Again, showing I think the versatility of your team, plus how they work well together defensively.
Well, our goal is to keep our opponent's three-point percentage 30% or below. We haven't been able to quite do that. Our defense is improving, so hopefully as we move forward, we'll start to achieve that goal. But I'm very, very happy with the effort we're getting every day in practice and the attention to detail so we can improve.
Last thing, Coach, on both offense and defense, the Hurricanes are in the top 5 in analytics in 7 different categories in the ACC. Talk about how this group has become so solid as teammates in sharing the ball and playing help defense. I mean, they look after each other.
Well, as I said, it started in the summertime with the chemistry developing and the bond between the guys on and off the court. And also their willingness to listen to the coaches. We've had to make some adjustments. Nigel Pack is not the same kind of player as a Charlie Moore. Norchad Omier is not the same kind of player as Sam Wardenberg. And Woga Poplar is not the same kind of player that Cam McGusty was. But those 3 players add an awful lot to the Isaiah Wongs and the Jordan Millers to give us a great starting 5. And the bench has been terrific. When Bensley, Harlan, Anthony Walker, and AJ Casey come in off the bench, they also do a great job.
Coach Jim Larrañaga, ladies and gentlemen, his Hurricanes are in the hunt here, in the mix, as we said, for an ACC title. And they're one of the great watches on TV for the things we've been saying here today. Coach, thanks a lot for your time. I know you're busy this time of year, but it's much appreciated.
All right, Ken, my pleasure.